And welcome to Armchair. Today is the third episode, and we are once again discussing contemporary issues in science. The big topic today is evolution.
Science's greatest mystery.
Science's greatest mystery, right? It's a big thing. So I am Chance Brandon, and today I'm joined once again by
Simon David.
My fellow friend and cohort, Dr.
Simon David. Don't forget the doctor.
Don't forget the doctor. So I think we're going to start right off. I'm going to jump in and start talking about evolution, a little brief history about what's going on there, until we get to a real muddy area, which is the Ice Age. So we'll get right to that. So here we go. Okay, so life began back with the Big Bang. We're talking 10 million BC, small single-celled organisms, protozoa, come into being. They're swimming around in their jelly all day, just enjoying their lives, reading their newspapers, sipping on their coffee, and the next thing you know, this lowly protozoa, he's snooping around his buddy's wife, and there's some breeding going on, and next thing you know, we get some mutations, genetic mutations. They're changing the makeup of these creatures. They're changing physicality of these creatures. Next thing you know, we get fish. He's snooping around his buddy's wife, and then we get some breeding going on again, and they're swimming around in there. And next thing you know, fish with legs, it's crawling out of the sea. Mouth breathers. Breathe in the air, which is probably about 24 years from the Big Bang, I think. It's the Ice Age. It's cold. It's damn cold. It just really gets messy there, and I'm not sure how to explain that one, so we'll have to turn it over to Dr. Simon David. He has two doctorates, both in sciences related to the field, and you wrote, I think, your first thesis on...
First dissertation was on the Ice Age. Second was on the history of the NFL.
Okay, yes, that's right. Okay, yeah, but so your first love was the Ice Age, and that's what we're talking about today.
Right, yeah, I'd like to clear that up. The Ice Age, it's a time of great confusion for humanity. It's one of the most important events in the history of the globe. What caused it? Well, I'll tell you what caused it. Large pocket of fermented swamp gas in the Colorado Rockies, which is actually now what is causing global warming, released into the air. So now you have the oceans moving at a quicker rate, warmer. Moon's tide pulling at the north and south pole, and so the ice just started to expand.
Yes.
So basically, what we do is we take ice core samples and we dig down 20, 30 feet. 20, 30 feet is about 10 million years in the Earth's history.
True.
That far down.
True.
You get beneath that layer of shale, you're getting back into the time of Christ, the time of Julius Caesar, the time of Alexander the Great. So you get back that far, you're looking at the semi-permeable membrane around the Earth, the ozone, as we like to call it now in modern times, starts to dissolve. So what happens when that dissolves? More sunlight gets in, bounces off, back up, off of the glaciers, causing a global cooling.
True, yes.
And now that fermented swamp gas has re-emerged into the ozone, which is causing the rest of the world to warm up and the polar vortex to sort of shift down through the northern hemisphere into the U.S.
Yes. Recently, here in Wisconsin, we've been experiencing extremely cold temperatures due to this polar vortex. Now, the interesting part here is this fermented swamp gas is traced back to the Ice Age and was locked in the Colorado Rockies.
Which at the time was Pangea.
At the time it was Pangea, but now it's just a small pocket of this gas, and that gas seeped right out. And why? Maybe you can tell us about why that gas seeped out. I don't know what the causes of that were.
It's the hole in the ozone layer. It's causing this sort of temporal vortex, which, as we know, time is spherical, space is spherical. Loops. You have something looping for millions of years, it's going to cause problems.
It's going to cause some problems. I think there was some interesting carbon-based particle extraction going on at the time too, which may have contributed.
That's where it gets hazy, because you have woolly mammoths moving across the hemisphere. You got humans emerging. So you have now the humans have evolved at that point.
Right.
But what is causing that cooling and now the warming? And now back to the cooling with the polar vortex. So is it warming? Is it cooling? It's obviously a very hostile modern debate. Is it really happening? Is it cooling?
Is it cooling? Is it warming? Is it spherical? Is it,
With the summer and the winter, the seasons changing. It's changing. It's always hard to tell. It's that 23-degree axial tilt of the Earth.
Very difficult. Very difficult.
We face the sun year round, right? Here's the sun. Here's the sun. U.S. Now, as the sun orbits the Earth.
Hold on, is this the sun?
This is the United States.
That's the United States, okay.
Now, as the sun orbits us,
okay,
we face it. Let's see, here we are. Here's January. Oh, we're facing the wrong way. Oh, boy. That's why the cooling and warming, it's kind of hard to understand,
But hold on, Dr. David. I want to get back to this issue about the carbon particle extraction. Because that's become a hot button issue now because
of all the CO2 we're putting into the environment.
The CO2 we're putting, but see, there's a debate. Now, the corporations don't want to take responsibility for all that CO2 based off that extraction that they were doing.
Right.
They've admitted that they've done extraction in the area.
They've done it.
But they're not willing to take the blame for releasing.
It's kind of a global cover-up to make more money for the private corporations.
See, that's the question. That's the question. Now, people are saying it is. People are saying it isn't. I just want to know, who let that festering, fermented swamp gas out of the Rockies?
It was no one's fault. It was a natural occurrence. So it's like, here you have the naysayers, and here you have the sayers. Where are we? I'm somewhere in here.
Okay.
I'm not naysaying or saying. I'm just
I'm like over here because I don't think I understand the issue. I mean, you're explaining it really well.
It's spherical.
Maybe we should look at a diagram.
Let's do that. Earth's history interview. Now we're going to start Big Bang right here, over here, 10 to 20 million years ago. Now, so we'll fast forward 10 or 15 years to the Ice Age. You got your first protozoa emerging out of that Precambrian ice. Shortly after that, Cambrian explosion. Shortly after that, 10 or 15 years, apes. Your first bipedal hominids start to emerge. And you're going to see some interbreeding there with the different species, Neanderthals, Homo erectus, they breed together. Brings us 5000 BC, the second major global disaster, woolly mammoths. Now, here, the Earth starts to cool down again. You look at your ice cores, you see 5000 BC, the Earth is cooling again. Now, you fast forward a couple years here, the formation of America, the swamp gas reemergence. This is the late 1990s. Bill Clinton administration, things really start to go to shit. What is happening here? Well, that's your reemergence of the swamp gas. Brings us to 2014, the polar vortex. Now, I want to get into that global warming, global cooling, that entire debate that we're getting into here in a little more detail. So now, here we have a map of the globe. Now you got this temperate weather down here in the south. You got this country down here, and then the U.S. So you've got this cooling kind of going on, coming through, sweeping through here in the Rockies, down here through Florida, coming across the entire Midwest of the globe. Now, why is that so cold right there? Only in that particular region. That's the question. You've got that swamp gas reemergence here in the 1990s, that global climbing, that warming / cooling. Now the rest here and here of the world is warm. Now you got this continuing to cool down, and that's why scientists can simply not agree on this topic. Complex questions don't have answers. Biggest point in human and the history of Animalia, Noah's Ark. Now you got all the different little species on the planet interbreeding, creating more and more and more. And how did they all fit on one boat? No one really fucking knows, but this happened. We have the DNA evidence. It's right here. It's right here. My hands, my face, the sun, the clouds, the moon. It didn't just happen. That doesn't just happen. This was a divine. Never mind. I don't want that.
And there you have it. I think we answered that question very clearly. I'm Dr. Chance Brandon.
And I'm Simon David.
Come have a seat in the armchair with us next time.
Somebody laughed. Phoebe did.
Phoebe's got a tripod on it. Go.
Hearing. It can be found in the person of one Dave Deering. Found. Oh, messy one. It can.